Okay, welcome back everybody. In our last video, we did a little variable scope experiment where we took this variable up here and we put it inside the function to see how it would run. Now, this is a lot of what programming is all about, is testing things and trying things and see what's going to work and what's not going to work and moving things around. And so now we're going to have a little bit more fun with this, and we're going to do a little bit of control theory, right? So let's see here. How do we want to start doing? First thing we're going to do is first off, let's look at how we build a Boolean variable. So let's look at our variables, and we have constants, data types, and I want a bool, right? So we want to make a couple of bools. Each bool variable occupies 1 byte of memory. It's true or false. So 1 byte is 4 bits. This code shows how to use the bool. I don't want to use all of this right now. All I really want is, oh, come on. Copy. All I really want is that bit right there. Okay. Now I'm going to paste this into my code. And let's I'm going to separate these down here just for looks. Whoops. And I'm going to rename these something test bool 1 and test bool 2. And I'm going to make this one true. In fact, you know what else we're going to do? I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to paste that down here. And I'm going to make a 3 and a 4. So why am I using these? Okay, well, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to make a conditional statement, then and we're going to enclose all of this in it, right? So let's start with, now mind you, this is all test stuff that we used before, so this all means nothing. This is the actual close of our custom function. As you can see right up here, this marries up with this curly brace over here, right? So we just got, what I'm really concerned with is this tiny bit here. We're just going to put that on hold for a minute. Excuse me. So, what we're going to do is use our test bools. And the next thing we want to look at is going to be, let's back up here. Structure. And do you see these Boolean operators right here? And. We're going to do something like this, right? And grab this guy, X. And I want to put this in my custom function. Let's copy that. Okay. Paste. Okay. Now we're not using this pin. And we're not using this pin. We are going. Lost my headset there for a minute. We're going to edit this code just a little bit. We're going to simplify it quite a bit. And we're going to take out this comment. Right? So now let's call this test bool 1 and test bool 2. Whoops. Did not want that. Test bool 2. So basically what this is going to say is if test bool 1 is true and if test bool 2 is true, then we're going to run this block of code. Does that make sense? That's why we kind of just got that out of the way there for a minute. And since this is inside the function, let's indent that. We can, so if test bool 1 is true and if test bool 2 is true, we are going, if those are true, we will increment speed, print it to the console, and repeat it. Right? So let's see what happens with our code when we run it. Uh-oh, our code is broken. And what's it saying? New sketch, Eno 28. Okay. Okay. Expected identifier before this token. So let's look in our documents. That shouldn't matter. Let's try it again. Oh, line 28, position 21. So that's actually this spot right here, right? And I think yep, that's position 21. Yep. See, that bang operator wouldn't, that exclamation point that I put in there would invert the value of test bool 2. We have to get this to compile first before we can do anything, right? So we are within my custom function. Did I? Okay. Huh. How about, let's try this. And if test bool 2, JavaScript is a little bit different. JavaScript would kind of make the assumption that oh, oh wait, I think I see what's going on now. we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to take this part out because this should all be enclosed in one, I think. So let's try running it that way. I got the parentheses wrong, I believe. Yeah, see, there we go. So if test bool 1, and these don't go in separate parentheses, then that's what I did wrong. So if test bool 1 and if test bool 2 are both true, and you see that one's false, that one's true, then we should be running the code, and we look in our serial monitor and we have garbage, right? So let us change this to, because we know test bool 3, we know test bool 3 is also true, right? We declared it true up here. That's why we made some extra variables, so we could swap around little numbers. And okay, and you see our code is running. So test bool 1 and test bool 3 are both true. So now you see that we're running that. We're running our code the same way, the same block of code that we had before. We just stuck it inside of another if statement, right? So we had our speed, serial, print line, this, and we just stuck it inside this other if statement right here. But now we run our custom function, and conditionally speaking, if those conditions are true, let's make this 4, because we know that test bool 4 is false, and we run it. What are we going to get on the serial monitor? Well, our sketch is going to compile just like normal. But on the serial monitor, we're not going to get any output because there's nothing to print, right? So let us get back into, let's get back to where we were doing something successfully. And so yeah, that's how we use our that's how we create a Boolean variable, and that's how we can test two variables for equality in a way. See, it's like bitwise operated. If this is true and if this is true, then we run the code, and if it's not, then we don't run the code. So it's beginning of control logic. You know, fun stuff. Anyway, we'll get more into it later. I think that's enough for this video.